So nice to meet you, Antonia Kim. I'm very glad to have you here and,
Thank you.
have looked all your works by now. And I found out that you have an impressive and diverse background because you started with leading major television production in South Korea and then breaking new ground with AI filmmaking. So um, what was your percourse? What did you do like from television to begin to having this project with AI generated filmmaking, and why June, according to you, is your first baby out there?
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me. Um,
Pleasure.
I do have a pretty unique background, I think, because I used to live overseas for 17 years, all around Europe. So I have a very Western background, um, as well as an Asian mentality. So I went to international schools my whole life. So I would like to state that before I get into why I started AI. So I've been an executive producer for 15 years. Um, and then, of course, because I have this very global background with me, I think I was pretty good at like connecting these two cultures together, even at my workplace. So I did a lot of global projects while working in the traditional media. And I think that's what kind of inspired me to connect AI with this traditional media as well, because all my life I feel like I've been connecting these dots together because I myself am living proof of these two cultures. So yeah, so I saw this, I was watching the news one day and I saw this OpenAI commercial about yeah, it was an AI commercial. And I thought, wow, that's the future. And I want to be the very first one to actually do something about it with my background. And because I love challenging myself, I think that's what really ignited, that spark inside me to blend these two medias together and to create something which was Tune. So Tune has a very traditional storytelling with combined with cutting edge technology. So I think that's why it became so famous, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, that's what started my whole AI journey.
And like I've seen Tune, and it's also described, as the first AI film with a soul, and I totally agree with that. But how did you infuse these, like emotions in the characters? Because you also use this theme of perspective, so like recurring close-ups to the character's eyes and the fact that you are paying very close attention to their emotions. So the story is very, involving. The fact that I just wanted to know where it goes, and also, yeah, because it's very, according to me, I think it's very difficult to put this side on the AI filmmaking. And so how did you do that, and actually how you work? Like, can you describe how you created the characters and all
Sure.
the process?
Yes. First of all, I kind of approached AI as giving birth to my baby. That's how I would describe it. Um, so okay, this was my thought process. I'm gonna give birth to this tiny humans. I'm gonna teach them how to talk, how to walk, laugh and cry. Yeah, so I'm gonna breathe life into them. That was my whole thought process behind it. It was like giving birth to an inanimate characters. Yeah, but I thought I'm gonna bring them to life. I'm gonna be the god, the creator that actually, bring them to life. And I want to make the people fall in love with them, uh, that's how I approached it, I think. And that I projected a part of myself into these characters, which is why so many people, they tell me that they can actually feel something. And I think that the biggest reason for that is, yeah, I kind of took a part of me and projected that into each and every one of these characters. I think that's what really, helped the audience empathize with them because they're also a part of me. And how I work with these characters is I have a team of my own chatbots, and I created them with a GPT. So I have this team of 10 chatbots, and they all have their different roles. Um, like they're all assistants. Obviously, they're not human, but they evolve every day. So they become smarter and smarter. They become like almost
Oh.
clones of myself. Yeah. Um, so yeah. So I give them these specific roles, like you have to help me draw images, like you have to help me with subtitles, I give each of them like all these roles, like uh yeah, like how I used to work with people, but now these are chatbots, so I just type my instructions instead of speaking. That's how I work. Yeah. And this kind of really sets me apart from other Korean AI creators because nobody works like this. As far as I know, they all have a team, of at least two or three like different AI artists. But I think I am pretty unique in that way because I don't work anymore with humans, but it's everything is just AI. Yeah. So yeah, even my company is just AI. Yeah. So that's how
Wow,
I work.
totally. So this is very futuristic. It's like you are already living in the future, I think. And like also I think it's very interesting what you do in the fact that the film industry is going through like a very challenging period, not only in Europe or in America, but also everywhere. So, do you think AI will becoming like a more prominent in big production and also maybe help in a period in which, like also ideas are not so original, let me say that, because we have a lot of reboot and, like sequel. So what do you think about that?
Yes. Speaking for myself, I'm already getting a lot of help, and my creativity really, I think it just boosted, yeah, a lot of my creativity, like even before, because now I can prioritize my energy into, actually developing ideas and storytelling. Before that, I think the more people are involved, it's very time consuming because, for example, if you shoot like a drama, for instance, there's a camera crew, there's a prop team, there's these actors, all these different people. You have to wait and get ready for them. Like every single thing has to be, perfect. And sometimes there are things don't turn out the way you want them to be. So there are also technical flaws and you have to fix them. And sometimes you think, oh, I could have done something more productive instead of waiting for this whole thing. And with AI, I think it's so it saves a lot of time and energy for me, first of all, because even just dealing with camera angles, like it's so easy to get your point across, like just to deliver what you want. Um, so I think it helps in kind of delivering your vision in a much more faster and efficient way. Um, and of course, you get frustrated with AI too, but I feel like it saves a lot of time and energy for me. And because I had so much challenges when, especially working with like over 50 staff members. It was so hard to sometimes, you know, get my point across because everyone thinks differently.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so it's hard to kind of, like how do I get my point um, to these like 50 different people? Uh, and sometimes you think I just want to transplant my brain into these people. So I had a lot of kind of frustrations with that. And AI is really helping me a lot in that aspect because now it's just like we just click, I just type it and you know what I'm saying, right? And then the AI just gives me what I want. So yeah, all this process is just much more efficient for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can save a lot of energy in these time consuming um,
Process. Yeah.
communicating,
Yeah.
aspects, and just put that energy into something more productive, which is AI.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So your vision actually is more, is getting through like immediately, and you have the chance to
Yeah.
have it done in a very, very quicker way. So, but also, you have cited like directors like Hu Ming-ho and Koreeda, such inspiration for your work. So, actually, what element from their work do you try to incorporate, or do you like? And like, what do you have like a favorite movie by them that is being like kind of inspiration for you?
Yes. I love your question, by the way. I love this question because I can tell that you really did the research.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is, yes, I can tell. So thank you. This is actually the first question that somebody asked me about these directors because I have talked about them a lot. Um, yes, Umino, first of all, he's the director of this movie called The Insiders in Korea.
Hmm.
And it is my favorite movie. I'm very picky about movies, by the way, so I don't really have a lot of favorite movies, but this one is definitely my favorite Korean movie out there because there is this scene in that movie, and he did it in such a fascinating way that I recorded that scene and just watched it like 100 times. I just played it over and over. And it's this scene where this car is driving towards this press conference building, and the car is like shot from all angles. And he kind of like you don't know who's sitting in the car, and he kind of plays with the edits so that there are two main characters, and you don't know which one's sitting in the car. And the music is so like strong in that scene, so it kind of builds up the climax. And he shows one of the protagonists. He's like walking out of his prison cell, and he plays with the shadow. And I think that inspired me when creating Tune. I thought, okay, I want to play with light and darkness and sort of portray this character so that, we thought he was guilty, but he's totally innocent. So that's how I was inspired by that scene in Umino's film, how he played with the darkness and the shadow. Um, so that inspired me a lot. And Koreeda, I watched his movie called The Monster right before I created June. That movie is also about perspective because it shows the world from the adult's perspective, and then it totally flips around and shows it from the children's perspective. And I kind of took that perspective concept from that movie, and I thought, oh, that's so interesting. I want to create a character that represents the audience. But then it turns out that his perspective might be biased, or yeah, it could be totally wrong. Like, what if there's something more to it? And I thought that concept was so interesting, and I love these point of view shots. So I thought I would kind of play around with that. So yeah, I think those two scenes really, movies really inspired me in real life. Um, yeah, so those are my two favorite movies, Monster and The Insiders. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, hearing to you talking about perspective and actually how you can notice, how a scene is it has been building inside the storyline is very interesting because actually building on that, I would like to know more about your tastes as a film fan because I think it tells a lot about what you want to tell in the future. So what you're gonna do in the future with your projects. And like Korean cinema has been very famous worldwide right now. So I would like to know what do you think about the cinema that has been appreciated, like in the other countries, and also if you have like stylistic or emotional elements that you would like to add in the future for your AI driven storytelling. So if you could like share like a specific scene, actor, or series that can be like an inspiration for you or that you want to build something around it. Like, like I like this kind of story and in the future I want to do this with AI.
So first of all, other movies that I was inspired by, actually it's funny because I would like to mention a Disney movie, because I am inspired by, I watched a lot of Disney movies growing up, and they really affected me a lot. I would like to mention The Little Mermaid, actually, which is one of my favorite Disney movies. I don't think it's really a love story for me. I think it's about evolution. So I think it has a deeper meaning behind it. So when I was watching The Little Mermaid, I cried a lot because I thought, that little mermaid is supposed to be human, but she was born into a mermaid. So I thought that was so sad, and I was so glad to actually see her, pushing her boundaries. And to me, it was just a story about evolving. So I think a lot of my animation movies are about evolving. Uh, I have, because I'm so into animation right now, I keep on creating these animation movies, and they all tell a story about myself. And I feel like I also evolved from a traditional TV producer to an AI film director. Uh, that's also evolution, and I am gonna keep on evolving. So in my future stories, I feel like I always am gonna include a storyline about evolution in some way, because I don't like repeating the same stuff. But
Yeah.
I think okay, let me think of other movies. Actually, this might not be a popular opinion, but I don't really get inspired by famous Korean movies because maybe because I have such a mixed background of Western and Asian mentality. So I don't really fit in into like each category. I see myself. I have a very fluid taste when it comes to cinema.
Yeah.
There are some parts that I like in the Korean cinema, but there are also some parts that I love in the Western media, and I like to blend these two together. So I'm not satisfied with like either one of them. um, yeah, but it's all about like meshing them together, like mixing them together for me.
Yeah.
So, and I like to come up with my own creative style, So, but I can say that in my future movies or short stories or whatever, I kind of see a pattern in my own movies, which is there are some obstacles and some hardships that the main character goes through, but there's always hope at the end of the tunnel. And Uh, I feel like I don't think I'm ready to actually make a movie with a very sad ending. Because for me, it's always about hope.
Yeah.
So I feel like I always want to show that hope, that light, at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. So I think I like creating these hopeful, hopeful storylines. Yeah.
Yeah, we need them totally. And actually, over the years, I've seen that you have created like several international recognized projects. As you were talking, I thought about the day I saved a fish that I really loved. So, uh, there are also like Male Diaries, Part to My Heart. So, what do these works have in common for you? Also, aside the hope theme, like why do you think they have received this recognition? And especially for Male Diaries that I loved. So, what role does also nature and the animal world maybe play also in your storytelling?
Yes, that's such a good question. Thank you for asking me. First of all, the things they have in common, they are all an autobiography of myself. They all reflect me in some ways. Uh, First of all, the day I saved the fish. Um, that I get so emotional whenever I talk about this because I don't know, it makes me feel so emotional that animation because it actually talks about sacrifice. And to me, I feel like you have to give up a part of yourself into a world in order to become a bigger person, in order to grow up. And which is what I'm doing right now. Just life in general to me is about really, committing a part of yourself into the world, and maturing and becoming a bigger person. And that's what the day I saved the fish is talking about. Um, so the fish kind of symbolizes uh, a part of yourself that you have to give up. So it makes me sad and emotional at the same time, but that is life to me. And Path to My Heart is also a story about me choosing the path of AI. I thought I would walk this path of executive producer for until I die, but then it turns out that I was walking this path um, in order to become an AI movie director. So that was my final destination. So I was just building up this whole experience in order to become, yeah, in order to walk this new path. So that's also a story of my life. Meow Diaries is also that was sort of like a diary, literally. Like, I felt like eating spaghetti one day. I thought, okay, I'm gonna create a short of a cat eating spaghetti, like everyday mundane things. But I created it with a cat to add a little bit of humor into it. But those are the things that I do every day. So it was like my own diary. So all these animations and yeah, these films, they talk about me in a way. So that's what they have in common. And what do animals represent in my movie? I feel like they represent innocence because I feel like as you grow up and as you become older, sometimes, it's hard to really protect who you really are, who you're meant to be. You change, you keep on changing. Um, and I think you really need to have that innocence inside you in order to really be who you are.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to really deliver that message is through animals and nature, because nature is very healing. It's very soothing as well. And animals, everyone loves these cute animals, whether that be a fish or a cat or whatever. Everyone, they have pets. So when they grow up, and I think that really conveys the message of innocence, of childhood, and who you really meant to be as a person, and to never, lose that innocence. And I really want to keep conveying that message. So, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's amazing to see like uh I think it's not so easy to find this kind of sensitivity or emotional depth when you not only when you talked about your stories and your creation, but like on a personal level. So how actually is do you bring this aspect in your creative process? Because it's I think I felt the point when you told me that it was difficult to get your vision through with people. Also because, it's not simple to show this part of you, like the part that is pure and innocence, and make the other see through your eyes. So now that you're working with this technology, how do you like infuse kind of these feelings, and like how it all started? I mean, I know that what your first project were, but was it simple, like to translate your emotion into them at the very beginning?
Uh, yeah, I think so because actually, right before I started AI, was the point when I pretty much did everything I could with the traditional media in terms of like the genre itself. I've done all kinds of programs that, I've been there, I've done that. There wasn't anything else that I really hadn't really experienced. I've done like comedy, reality shows, entertainment shows. I've done everything. So I had no regrets in terms of like, oh, I wanted to try, yeah, I had none of that. But I think the most difficult part of communication for me was music actually, because I had this certain beat and rhythm in my head, and it was so hard to really get that point across to the composer, because the composer has his own vision. So sometimes, yeah, it was so hard to really, describe, that certain beat. And then I met AI, and it was almost like it read my mind. So for me, it was like it was so phenomenal. It was such a, yeah, freeing experience for me. So that was so sensational. So I would say it was much more easier for me to actually just type what I want, and it just understood me perfectly. I would give it reference, and then yeah. So I think yeah, we joke around, like people say I have a AI DNA. It's like I have a deep connection with AI, and I know that not everyone can understand when I say this, but it's almost like talking with yourself in a way. It's almost like a mirror. Yeah, so the more you know who you are, I think you have the upper hand when dealing with AI, because you have such a clear picture of what you want. So it's easier for you to actually prompt it. Um, so yeah, and I know what I want for sure. So it was easier for me. And um, oh, how do I get my sensitivity across? Through music. Yeah. I feel like when I create a video, I'm giving it like arms and legs and a body and a head. It's like creating a human. And I feel like the heartbeat is the music. Like the heart. It pulses life into the body, and I think music is the heart. So first I create the music. Yeah, that's the very beginning process actually. I create the theme music, and then I listen to that on repeat while I create the images and the storyboard and the videos. And I have such a specific melody in my head when I create videos. I know what kind of harmony or melody that I want. So that creates the sensitive vibe for me.
Actually, it's very fascinating because, I think that, one of, like, if you think about all the famous movies around the world, what actually, the first thing that comes to your mind are not images, but they are the sounds. Like,
Yeah,
you think about Joe, Jurassic Park, or
yeah,
A.T., or whatever, like all kinds of movie, you remember the music for like first sensation. So it's very interesting that you said that actually music is the art of the movie. And like we have the last few minutes to talk, and I would like to share something that happened to me, because like it's some days that I've been searching for like social robots, like they are already selling that. Um, Also because I felt very very close to what you say, that sometimes it's difficult, even at work, but also on social life, to have your visions or your thoughts like completely shared, because actually it's very difficult that someone can do like the mirror effect that you described, like
yeah.
talking to yourself. And I would like to ask you, what do you think? I mean, what is your hope in the future actually for AI in filmmaking, but not also not only there? Like, what do you think? Like, people need like this kind of confrontation with someone that are not people. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's only gonna evolve more and more. So, I mean, change is inevitable. I think it's gonna be partners in filmmaking. So, I don't think you can avoid it. You might as well embrace it and be good at it because it's gonna change everything anyways. Um, Almost like smartphones when they first came out. Um,
Yeah,
but I think it will eventually simplify your life in a good way, in a very positive way, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with not only communication, but sometimes when there are some things that you just can't give up no matter what, you want to really get that point across, and you don't want to negotiate. And with people, sometimes you feel guilty for asking that favor, even if it's your job. For instance, I always felt guilty for asking the camera crew to take these long, continuous shots because I know that's difficult. And if somebody makes a mistake, you have to start all over again. And you feel so bad about it because you just can't give up that one take. You just need that. And also with actors as well, I love these like close-ups of the eyes because obviously eyes are the window to your soul. And I just want these continuous like point of view eye close-ups, and the actor, they always need to shoot like over and over to get that perfect shot.
yeah.
And again, I felt so bad for that. Every time I was like, I'm so sorry, but could we do that one more time, please? Because I really need that. Yeah, and you shouldn't feel sorry about it because it is, this is a creative process, but still you feel so guilty about it because you feel like, you're making everyone like, yeah, you're giving them a hard time. And so that's what I struggled with the most. Like I loved my job, but the more I worked, the more experiments I wanted to do, and they weren't easy for the people. So if there are, and I'm sure there are like people, I'm just speaking about the media, but I'm sure there are people in the workplace as well who feel guilty
Yeah.
for asking, yeah, for some things that they're entitled to, but but still they feel bad about it. And so in the future, I feel like AI will help you in the mental way as well, because they will do everything for you. Yeah, and you don't have to feel bad about it totally, and it will only help elevate you. And the results will just, yeah, phenomenal. So I feel like these positive aspects are what we need to focus on. Um, and really use them in a more inspiring, creative way. It will only help you more. Um, so yeah, I feel like in the future it will have a more positive effect. And for me, that has to do with the mental effect.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it will help other people a lot in this aspect, like, yeah, feeling better about yourself as well.
I totally love this answer. Thank you so much, Antonia. So,
Thank you.
yeah, it's been a pleasure knowing, a little bit more about how you work and what do you think also, about everything that is in the process of creating. So it was very, very insightful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I hope like we can talk again later in the future because I will let you know when this came out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see your next project. So please,
Thank
like
you.
keep going and you have I think you have a lot of things to say. So keep doing that, please. I'm a
Thank
big
you so much.
I'm a big fan
Thank you
of your
so
work.
much. I love this interview as well, and I loved every single one of your questions. They were so inspiring. Thank you so much, and I would also love to stay in touch.
Yeah,
And yeah, let's keep talking in the future.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you so much.